no matter how successful you are, you're going to fail at some point. If you look at how many missed shots Michael Jordan has or whatever, it's like we have to condition ourselves to not tie our self-worth and our confidence towards our results. In fact, it's best if we can tie it towards our process.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, I mean, from both my own journey as well as many of the people who I lead, at my tech job, is people really want to hit quota and drive revenue, and they want to be the number one on the board. And that's a great feeling. And I'm raising my hand. I'm down to do that for sure. And what I think that there's a limiting way that is, because first off, if we don't actually end up hitting the goal that we want, this number in front of us, first off, we think, okay, therefore I'm not good enough. Right? It's like a binary sort of thing. If I hit that, then I'm worthy of whatever it is. Then people will like me. Then I will get the praise they want. And second, if we do even hit that, all of a sudden we just either want more, and there's not even like, maybe there's 5 minutes of just feeling good that you hit it. And then you're like, cool, I got to hit it again. Like, what's my next goal in front of me? And it's just creating this I'm just going to say, exhausting hamster wheel that not many people know how to get off of once you're on it.
I agree. I want to key in on that self-worth piece. And I think that's where so many people who are drawn towards business and sales and competition, we have a competitive spirit, right? If you didn't have that competitive spirit, then you probably wouldn't be, attracted to some of these things. At least a little bit, right? You have a little bit of that competitiveness in you, and maybe you did sports growing up, right? Or you were competitive in some other way, or you were academically competitive. So you just always have that competitive spirit, and that's good, right? It's tough when we tie our worth to our achievement, though, because no matter how successful you are, you're going to fail at some point, So, I mean, if we look at how many missed shots, Michael Jordan has or whatever, it's like, we have to condition ourselves to not tie our self-worth and our confidence towards our results. In fact, it's best if we can tie it towards our process, right? Okay, hey, my process is I'm going to show up and I'm going to put this sort of activity in, or I'm going to show up and I'm going to in this sort of way. You're somebody who meditated every single day for a year straight. And if you worried about, the end result of that, was I more peaceful today or was I less peaceful today because of this meditation? And you were kind of measuring it in these short spurts, it would have been probably pretty frustrating. You might have thrown in the towel. And we do the same thing in business and sales all the time, right? We're looking at the results, not necessarily the process. So that's one thing I want to key in on. And I think, at a deeper level, it's, okay, then if your self-worth is not determined by your results, what is it determined by, right? And ultimately, should it even be tied to much of the external factors whatsoever, right? If we're not going to do achievement, maybe you do it based on your appearance or something, right? I mean, I think a lot of women are maybe more prone to fall into that, but I think dudes, we can too, especially if you're young and you're single. At this point, I'm married, and so I don't worry about my appearance as much. Maybe I should. But it's like, if you're a young single dude, like, you see it in the gym all the time. It's like they're checking themselves out in the mirror and, they're holding up the shirt. It's like, okay, we all do it at some level. There's like vanity. So, okay, so if it's not achievement, is it your appearance? If it's not your appearance, is it something else? But what should it be? Is it what kind of car you drive? Is it how much money you make? Is it something else? Well, what should it be is really the question. And, maybe it's your character at the very least, right? Hey, I'm proud of my character. I'm proud of how I hold myself, how I carry myself, how I live out my values. Well, I'd much rather be friends and partners and, closely connected with somebody whose self-worth is determined by, how in alignment they are with their character than someone like achievement or their looks or what kind of car they drive or something like that. That's a much more authentic relationship. And that's somebody I can trust a lot more. And then I even go one layer deeper, and it's like, even when I falter with my character, right, where's my self-worth? And it's like, even when I screw up and I even violate my own values, it's like, in the eyes of God, right, you are, or whatever you want to call that, the universe, like, you are a child of God, and therefore you are just as worthy as someone who's completely blameless. And also, there's people who are quote unquote worse people than you who are also just equal, right? You are equal to Elon Musk and you're equal to the homeless guy on the street, and we're all, children of God, so to speak, to carry the analogy forward. And how can we get to a place where we see our inherent self-worth simply because you exist, simply because you are you? That's all you got to do to be worthy of love. Tough to accept sometimes, right? Because we're so used to measuring it in other ways.
We are already worthy just by our sheer existence. I love that. Thanks for listening to the Rising Leader podcast. Make sure you hit that follow button so you get notified every time a new episode releases. If you know someone who wants to take their lives and their career to the next level, send them this episode so we can all rise together. For more information, check out alluviance.co. We'll see you next time. And in the meantime, keep letting it flow.